Some say when you hear voices, it's just your mind playing tricks on you. But what happens when the voices know things they shouldn't, when they whisper your secrets before you even speak them? It started on a Tuesday night. The city was cloaked in darkness, the streets eerily quiet. The only sound was the distant hum of traffic and the occasional bark of a stray dog. Midnight had just struck, marking the beginning of an unsettling series of events. David was alone in his apartment, working late on a coding project. The glow of his laptop screen was the only source of light, casting long shadows on the walls. He was engrossed in his work, fingers flying over the keyboard, unaware of the creeping unease that was about to envelop him. His headphones were off. The room was silent, except for a faint whisper. It was so soft that at first he thought he was imagining it, but as the whisper grew louder, he realized it was real. His heart began to race.
David.
He froze, checked his phone. The screen was blank, no messages, no calls. He felt a chill run down his spine. Was someone playing a prank on him? He glanced around the room, trying to find the source of the whisper. Nothing. Turned around. No one. The apartment was empty, just as it had been all night. He tried to shake off the feeling of dread, telling himself it was just his imagination. But deep down he knew something was wrong. Probably just the TV from next door, he told himself. But the whisper returned. This time it was clearer, more insistent. It seemed to be coming from right behind him.
David, we know what you did.
His chest tightened. Panic set in. What he did? What was it talking about? He racked his brain, trying to remember if he had done something wrong, something that could have led to this eerie encounter. What he did? What was it talking about? The questions swirled in his mind, each one more terrifying than the last. He felt trapped, unable to escape the growing sense of dread. The whisper continued, relentless, echoing in the silence of the night. Over the next few days, the whispers grew louder, bolder. They started as faint murmurs, barely audible, but soon they became an incessant presence in his life. It was as if they were following him, growing in confidence with each passing hour, sometimes in the shower, sometimes while driving. The whispers were relentless, invading his most private moments. They echoed in the steam-filled bathroom, making him jump at every shadow. They filled the silence of his car, making every drive a nerve-wracking ordeal. Always calling his name, always knowing things. They seemed to know his deepest secrets, his hidden fears. It was as if they were inside his mind, pulling out memories he had long buried. The whispers were not just sounds. They were an invasion of his very being. They mentioned details from his past, things he never told anyone. They spoke of moments he had tried to forget, moments that still haunted him. The whispers knew about the mistakes he had made, the regrets that kept him up at night. The girl he ghosted in college, her face, her voice, her tears, all came rushing back to him. The whispers reminded him of the pain he had caused, the guilt he had tried to suppress, the job interview he lied in. The whispers recounted every false word he had spoken, every deceitful act he had committed. They made him relive the anxiety, the fear of being found out, the dark thought he had at his father's funeral. The whispers dragged him back to that day, to the overwhelming grief and the fleeting, shameful thought that had crossed his mind. They made him confront the darkness within himself. David stopped sleeping. He stopped eating. The whispers consumed him, leaving him a shell of his former self. His eyes grew hollow, his body frail. The constant torment left him exhausted, unable to find peace even in his dreams. He set up cameras in every room, but nothing ever showed up. Desperation drove him to try and capture the source of the whispers, to find some proof of their existence. But the cameras revealed nothing. The whispers were elusive, always just out of reach, leaving him questioning his sanity. Desperate, he saw a therapist. Dr. Halvorson, calm, rational. He had heard about her from a friend who swore by her methods. She was known for her unique approach to therapy, blending traditional techniques with a deep understanding of the human psyche. He hoped she could help him make sense of the chaos in his mind.
Auditory hallucinations, she explained. Stress, anxiety, unresolved guilt. These were the culprits behind the voices he was hearing. She spoke with a calm authority, her voice a soothing balm to his frayed nerves. She assured him that with time and effort, they could work through these issues together. He felt a glimmer of hope. The brain's way of screaming when we won't listen. It was a poetic way to describe the turmoil he felt inside. He had been ignoring his own needs for so long, pushing down his emotions until they erupted in the form of these terrifying hallucinations. It was a wake-up call, a sign that he needed to take better care of himself.
It made sense, until the voices said her name. Dr. Halvorson, the one person he trusted to help him. The voices whispered it in the dead of night, filling him with a sense of dread. Why would they mention her? What did it mean? He tried to push the thoughts away, but they lingered, gnawing at the edges of his mind.
Halvorson. She's hiding something. The voices were insistent, planting seeds of doubt in his mind. He began to question everything she had told him. Was she really trying to help him, or was there something more sinister at play? He felt a growing sense of paranoia, unsure of who to trust.
He didn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Dr. Halvorson had been nothing but kind and professional, but the voices were relentless, and he couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. He decided to investigate, to find out the truth for himself. Until he found the file, locked in her cabinet, labelled Patient Zero, David C. His heart raced as he read the name. It was his name. But how could that be? He had always thought he was her first session. The discovery sent his mind into a tailspin, raising more questions than answers. But he was her first session, or so he thought. The revelation shattered his perception of reality. What else had she been hiding? He knew he had to confront her, to demand the truth. But as he prepared to face her, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was stepping into a deeper, darker mystery. A child, blonde, about 5, standing in the ruins of a house, fire in the background, a name scribbled on the back. David Crawford. David. That's not me, he whispered. But it was, somehow. He remembered that fire, that voice screaming in the flames. The voices were real. Ghosts, echoes, fragments of a past he'd locked away. Whispering voice. You remember now. We forgive you. David left the office in silence. That night, he heard the voices again, but this time they weren't warning him. Whispering, voice, she lied. Halvorson isn't helping you. She's using you. And in the reflection of his bathroom mirror, he didn't see himself anymore. Just a child, blonde, afraid, watching him from the other side. Determined to uncover the truth, David began his investigation into Dr. Halvorson's background. Days were spent combing through medical records, academic journals, and obscure online forums. It wasn't long before he stumbled upon inconsistencies in her credentials. Gap-1.5S. David. Harvard? She never went to Harvard. Gap-2.0S. The deeper he dug, the darker the revelations. Dr. Halvorson had been involved in a controversial experiment related to auditory hallucinations. Participants reported not just hearing voices, but seeing them. Gap-2.5S. David. How could she hide this? Gap-2.0S. David confronted Dr. Halvorson in her office. Gap-1.5S. David, why didn't you tell me about your past experiments, Dr. Halvorson? Because they have nothing to do with your condition, David. You're imagining things. Gap-2.5s. But the voices were relentless. Whispering voice. She's hiding something crucial, David. Don't trust her. Gap-2.0s. Conflicted and confused, David left the office more uncertain than ever. The truth seemed just out of reach, and the whispers grew louder, more insistent. Gap-2.0s. David, what are you hiding, Dr. Halvorson? David's determination to uncover the truth led him to an old, dusty library. He sifted through countless articles until one headline caught his eye. Tragic fire claims family, lone survivor, David Crawford. Gap-2.0s. David, no, it can't be. Gap-2.5s. The article detailed a horrific fire that killed a family, leaving only a young boy named David Crawford alive. His heart raced as he realized the boy was him. The voices in his head were not mere hallucinations, they were the spirits of his family trying to reach out to him. Gap-2.5s, whispering voice. David, remember us. Gap-2.0s. With newfound clarity, David confronted Dr. Halvorson once more. Gap-1.5s. David, you knew who I was all along, Dr. Halvorson. Yes, David, I was trying to help you remember, to help you heal. Gap-2.5s. The weight of the revelation hit him hard. The voices were his family, and all this time Dr. Halvorson had been guiding him toward this truth. Gap-2.0s. David, why didn't you just tell me? Dr. Halvorson, some truths are too painful to hear without understanding. You needed to find it yourself. Gap-2.5s. The voices grew softer, more comforting, as David finally began to understand his past and his present. Gap-2.0s. Whispering voice. We're always with you, David. David, now aware of his past, decides to confront the voices. Determined to hear their side of the story, he sets up a séance in the old, abandoned house where the fire took place. The room is dimly lit by flickering candles, casting long shadows on the walls. Gap-2.0s. Whispering voice. David, we need to talk. Gap-2.5s. David, I'm here. What do you want to tell me? The air grows colder, and the candles flicker more intensely. The voices seem to grow louder, more insistent. Gap-2.5s. Whispering voice. Dr. Halvorson. He was there that night. David's heart races, torn between disbelief and the urge to know more. Gap-2.0s. David, what do you mean? He was involved? Gap-2.5s. Whispering voice. Yes, David, he started the fire. He wanted to erase us, to control you. David's mind reels with the revelation. Could Dr. Halvorson, the man who had been guiding him, really be responsible for his family's death? Gap-2.0s. David, why would he do that? Gap-2.5s. Whispering voice. Power, David. He wanted to manipulate your grief, to control your mind. David's emotions surge, a mix of anger, confusion and sorrow. He feels the weight of betrayal, but also a glimmer of clarity. Gap-2.0s. David, I don't know what to believe anymore. The voices soften, offering a final piece of solace. Gap-2.5s. Whispering voice. Trust your heart, David, we are with you. As the séance concludes, David is left with a choice: to confront Dr. Halvorson with this new information, or to walk away and find his own path to healing. Gap-2.0s. David, I will find the truth, one way or another. The candles flicker out, leaving David in darkness but not in despair. He knows what he must do next. Gap-2.5s. David, I will find justice for my family. The room falls silent, but David's resolve is stronger than ever. David decides to trust the voices and confronts Dr. Halvorson with the new information. He finds her in her office, the place where so many of their sessions took place. Gap-2.0s. David, Dr. Halvorson, I need to talk to you. Dr. Halvorson looks up, surprised but composed. David's resolve is clear. He won't leave without answers. Gap-2.5s. Dr. Halvorson, David, what is this about? David, I know what happened the night of the fire. The room grows tense as Dr. Halvorson's face pales. David continues, his voice unwavering. Gap-2.5S. David, you were there. You started the fire. Dr. Halvorson's composure crumbles. She breaks down, tears streaming down her face. Gap-2.5S. Dr. Halvorson. It was an accident, David. I didn't mean for any of it to happen. David's heart pounds, torn between anger and a strange sense of relief. The voices, now calm, whisper their gratitude. Gap-2.0S. Whispering voice. Thank you, David. You've set us free. David watches as the burden of his family's death lifts, replaced by a new weight, the aftermath of the revelation. Gap-2.5 says, David, I will deal with this, but I needed to know the truth. The room falls silent, but this time it's a silence of resolution. David knows that while the journey isn't over, he's taken the first step toward healing. Gap-2.5S. David, I will find a way to move forward for them, for me. The voices fade, leaving David to face the future with newfound clarity and strength. Some say trauma speaks in whispers, but sometimes those whispers aren't inside you, they're watching you.